And welcome back. Hey, you. Yeah, you, right there. Come join us on the couch this week, as it is the Couch Company podcast with John and Tyler. Tyler, how are you?
I'm
Stunned.
good. Yeah, no,
I told you, I gave you a promise. I will change it up every week.
single time. No, I like it.
Yeah.
It's very personable.
It was a little bit personal.
Hello, listening audience.
I was speaking right to whoever's listening to this.
Chris, yeah, hey.
So we have another amazing episode for the listeners at home. But first, I want to shout out. We've been more active on Twitter here. We actually hit a record on one of our polls yesterday, as of recording. So it was Thursday last week. Our muffin poll with 7 votes was our highest voted poll ever.
That's a big deal.
People
We're front-loading the Twitter thing. Normally, we put that at the end.
Yeah, I know.
You're just so excited.
I was so excited about it. I was like, I have to.
Do you have the poll results?
I do have the poll results here, and 7 whole votes on this. All right, so people are very passionate about their muffins, Tyler. I woke up craving muffins, so I wanted to hear from the people, and sample size. This might be a little bit off from the consensus of the actual public, but still important nonetheless. So the options you can only choose 4 options on Twitter, which is kind of stupid, but.
I thought it was 7. You can only do 4?
Unless I'm dumb, which is incredibly
No, you're probably
likely.
right. I don't know.
So the options I had was banana nut muffins, blueberries, and chocolate chip muffins. I feel like those are the most common muffins.
Yeah, sure.
And then always there's other. So it could be anything else.
So do you think a chocolate chip muffin is more common than like a lemon poppy seed?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Dude.
What about a cranberry? Like a cranberry walnut muffin?
Dude, you
or like
live
an
in
apple
the
cranberry?
richest part of the world. Get the fuck out of
so
here.
I-
I'm talking about my variety pack Sam's Club fucking.
Yeah, well, actually, Sam's Club got rid of the apple muffin. The apple muffin is the best muffin.
Yeah, so Tyler did come in with the only vote for other and commented apple muffin like a psychopath. So
it's the best.
it's good.
It's very, very good.
It's good.
All right.
But
Debate this all day.
everyone knows the chocolate chip is the best muffin. What won on our poll, and this is actually a little peek behind the curtain, there was actually a misvote. And since I know the person who voted and they admitted to not voting correctly, I believe that gives us a 3-way tie between banana nut, blueberry, and chocolate chip. Because John, shout out to John, voted blueberry by accident, which is in the lead, and wanted to vote for chocolate chip.
You showed up at his door and threatened him with bodily harm.
There is no evidence to support that claim.
Yeah.
And my lawyers will be in touch. But actually, the way I did discover that is we were playing Portal last night. A game you might have heard of. Pretty good game, some people said.
15 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
People have been wanting me to play this game forever, and I finally did. And John showed up in the middle of our stream. It wasn't really a stream. It was a recording. And that is when he informed me of his muffin mistake. A little alliteration there for you. But we will get to Portal later as well.
Okay, I didn't know that was your transition.
No, it was a very early transition.
Okay.
It's a little foreshadowing, I would say,
Yeah.
rather than a transition. But that was an exciting poll. So technically a 3-way tie. If you look at Twitter, though, blueberry won.
It's fascinating stuff.
I would wager a guess that the public would probably say blueberry. Blueberry seems to be very popular.
Which is bizarre because I don't think blueberry is like, nobody's like, oh, blueberry is my number one fruit.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's just a classic blueberry. I hate blueberry. Blueberry is my least favorite because if anyone knows me, they know I hate berries. And secondly, it disguises itself as a chocolate chip muffin, which is my favorite. So I'm about to take a nice chocolatey bite of this muffin, and then it's something healthy in my mouth. It's disgusting. And whoever does that should be locked up forever.
I don't like chocolate in stuff. And we talked about this last night where like
on our Portal recording.
Yeah.
That you can find on YouTube.
Which I wonder, do we actually talk about that? I guess that would be live. I don't know. I don't know if we actually talk about it on the recording. But my thing with
I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember. We might have stopped by then.
Go find out, audience.
Oh,
watch our video. Tell us if
it's our shortest
we talked
recording.
about,
it's only like 2.5 hours.
That's true. No, just over
quickly.
2. It's about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Even better.
That's like a movie, man.
We've done longer podcasts.
Why watch a movie when you can watch the Couch Company play a 15-year-old game? These are the questions you need to ask yourself.
That's a good pitch. I don't know. I would say if I'm going to do like a chocolate chip in something, then it's got to be like a brownie. Like even chocolate chip cookies, I'm not a big fan of. I'd rather do M&Ms. I'd rather do a sugar cookie, to be completely honest. Oatmeal raisin.
You're just absolutely
macadamia
insane.
Nut. Yeah. Snickerdoodle. Snickerdoodle might be my favorite.
Snickerdoodle? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Top 5 cookies.
That is an interesting thing you posed there. Can't think of words right now, but I will say you completely lost me after you say the only thing I like chocolate chips in is brownies. That's utterly ridiculous.
And I'm not even saying I like them in, like, I would take a plain brownie over a chocolate chip brownie.
Yeah, I think plain brownies are definitely better.
I completely agree. But my thing is, I have to go into it thinking, all right, I'm going to get a mouthful of chocolate.
I don't understand your brain. And I told you this on the recording, which is on YouTube, by the way. And it's like, I don't understand. You need to like prepare yourself for the chocolate sensation or something. Like the chocolate chip is an accent to
but the
whatever you're eating.
Is not, and I know this is bizarre. The chocolate is it's bitter compared to the rest of the muffin. If I'm eating a muffin, I'm expecting this like overly sweet thing in this chocolate, especially if it's like a fresh muffin where the chocolate isn't like a hard chocolate chip, like it's like a melty one.
Right.
I don't like the gooey bitterness.
Wow. It's called contrast, Tyler. You might understand this
juxtaposition
in the color world.
Yeah, no, I
just make it pop,
dude.
It.
Oh my god.
Tyler was telling me that in the artist world, like drawing world, I guess, the make it pop is like that one phrase. I'm sure there's one phrase in every walk of life, or I guess kind of work, occupational life. That just makes you
like when you're an expert in a field and somebody says X phrase to you, signifying that they don't actually know what they're talking about and they don't trust you have already done that. So like if I'm designing something to the best of my ability. If you're telling me, oh, it needs to pop more, then you're telling me what I designed based off of years and years and years of experience and rationale and best practices and all that stuff is incorrect, and you, the person who has not done any of that, knows better.
Yeah.
I need to handle criticism better. I get that.
I think that is like such a good point though, because it's like clearly they're coming from a place of ignorance. And I'm not saying you can't critique someone if you don't have the same level of understanding, obviously. That's ridiculous. But there's ways you could put it. Like if I were to critique something that you were doing, but like drawing or something, I would first preface it by saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, but...
Oh, how many times did I say that whenever you made the intro music? And I'm like, I know I sound like a caveman, but here's what I'm trying to get across. Or like,
I forget what you said, but I'm trying to think of like the same thing in music.
Yeah, so
you said something. I was like, I
did.
Oh,
so
okay. Like, what do you want me to do?
And I typed that, and I'm like, I can't believe I just typed it. So I typed it, and I was like, hey, we need something that's like catchy that people would like hum.
I'm like, oh, okay. If I could do that, I wouldn't be here, dude. I would be making a lot of money somewhere else.
Yeah, it was not good.
No, that's okay though. I mean, it's easy to fall into
Here's
that.
a hint for the audience. If you're talking to an expert in some field and you don't agree with something that they produced for you, ask them questions about it and ask why they did certain things. Don't say like, oh, it should do this, or I don't feel that this is hitting it or something. Ask, oh, this is interesting color choice, or oh, this is an interesting animation, music, whatever it is. Start asking them some questions, because a lot of the time what happens is you don't get a lot of initial information from somebody that's doing like a freelance gig, right? So if somebody comes to you like, hey, I want you to design a brochure or a logo or whatever it is. It's like, okay, cool. And the part of that, the onus is on the designer to ask a bunch of different questions, get a lot of that information. But a lot of the time, a lot of that stuff goes unsaid. Yeah. So then designers fill that in, artists fill that in with what they know and what they gravitate towards. And that might not be what, the client wants. So I don't know. Ask questions.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the main thing.
And when you ask questions of someone who created some sort of work, you're going to get some rationale behind the decisions they made. And that might make you like it more. That might make them question, wait, why did I do that? And re-examine that. And maybe they tweak something, right? So I think that's definitely a better approach to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect. Note is like on the other side of that coin, if a designer or artist is not explaining I'm talking everything.
Yeah.
If they don't have an explanation, and they might be BSing you, don't get me wrong. Like, we learned that in college.
Sure.
But if they don't have a answer or a rationale for every little detail about the work that they produce, then then you're well and within your rights of being
Absolutely.
like, no, I don't think this is good.
Yeah, you should always be able to defend your work.
Sure.
And the funniest thing would be, it's a little bit different in the music world, because in the artist world, like producing a picture or whatever, or an image, you can always tweak or whatever. But in the music world, if you played something like, and you're listening back to a recording and someone's like, wait, why did it sound like that there? You're like, I just fucked up. Like, what do you mean? So that's always funny when someone does something like that.
Thinking on your feet. That's the whole thing. I remember doing a logo for my church, and like, this is way, way back.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, whenever you're redesigning a logo, you have to take something old, something new, like that kind of thing, where it's like, you need, and I think it was Saul Bass, if I remember correctly, that was like explaining how to redesign logos in like the new age. But you have to have a callback. You can't do like a completely brand spanking new logo that has no connection to the original piece. If you look at Wendy's, you look at Burger King, they simplify for sure.
Right.
But it still harkens back to, like, Wendy has always been on that logo. Like, she's gotten simpler and simpler, but she's always been the logo.
That's the identity.
Right.
Yeah.
So for my church, it was like, okay, cool. Here's this like gradiated leaf sprouting up and plant and everything.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, you need to put reasons behind everything. So I did like a circle and a simplified like little plant, but it was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, the 3 leaves represent like the Trinity, and the circle represents the community, and like, it could all be BS. I mean, granted, I did for that specific thing, I thought about it, but it was like, that's the type of stuff you need from designers. You need to provide details and rationale. So if you're paying hundreds of dollars for something, that makes you feel better about it.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I always think you should be able to stand behind your work, obviously. So you do need to think about, make conscious decisions about that. I mean, a lot of that goes into both music and, artistry.
Any creativity.
Any creativity, yeah, for sure. That's something that was stressed on us a lot, because in music it's really easy to, and I'm sure probably, illustrating as well, it's really easy to go through the motions and not make a conscious decision about some of the things you want to do. So when you're like preparing a piece, it's the same type of thing. You want to sit back, you want to, think about what kind of choices you want to make within that piece. Cause I mean, you can present it in a lot of different ways, right? And you should be really conscious about the things that you're doing. So I don't know if you find yourself doing that, like just kind of going through the motions.
Oh,
type
100%.
Of thing.
I mean, like you can always fall back on that stuff. Like there are some times when like, you just don't feel creative in any given day, but like you still have, I mean, in my case, you still have a job to do. You still have this work to do. And that's when you fall back on your expertise, your knowledge of best practices. And okay, if I'm designing something from scratch, this is my jumping off point. This is the baseline. The thing that is different between, something like a designer and then, an artist, if you will, or something like that is knowing all the rules and then obviously when to break them. So the thing that I keep stressing is like, it's one thing to just memorize a bunch of like, okay, here is, like the padding and the spacing and the font sizes and all this stuff. That's fine. That's good to know. That's good to understand. But like, you need that artistic approach of, oh, I can cheat it a little bit here because it has like more visual harmony or like symmetry and stuff. Like we were just designing a wedding sign, right, for the upcoming nuptials, and we use this like cursive font and all this stuff and everything. And the first thing is like, okay, cool, center it on the sign, and it looks way off, right? So then you go in, you start like tweaking things, moving things around and stuff. I don't know where I was going with that, but at the end of the day, like there is this personal detailing you have to put in,
right?
That you're not going to get it right 100% of the time.
No.
That personally kills me because I'm so like I need every pixel to be perfect.
Perfection, yeah.
And whenever you start talking about anything scripting or anything illustrative like that, you're never going to get it perfect.
It's actually interesting. Well, 2 points. One, when I myself try to, be a perfectionist, I find that the quality actually gets worse overall. Yeah. Whereas, because music's a little bit interesting because it's a live performance, right? A lot of the time. So, you have to be very specific about, you're performing there live instead of illustrating or whatever the case may be. So there's like pressure in terms of that, but that's a pitfall I think a lot of creative types fall into. They want everything to be perfect, right? And the faster you can get away from that idea and just think big picture, how do I want this to feel? What kind of things do I want to do with this? I think the better quality you get overall.
Or just be expressive like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, peek behind the curtain. Whenever you're designing something like I'm a big UI designer. I enjoy like interfaces. I enjoy like the very kind of minimalist, like, function driven design.
Right.
So whenever you start talking about something like, I don't know, like YouTube thumbnails, like that just, you throw it out the window. Like there is some aspect to it, but it's so free form and very dependent on each of the videos. And me, I like having everything methodical and cataloged and like, okay, this is this series and this is how this looks and this lined up together looks good. But you can't think in that way. Like YouTube's a little bit different, like drawing's a little bit different. Like it's just everybody is good at a specific area. So like, oh, I'm making this like graphic design, right?
Right.
But then it's like, but I'm better in UI design. I'm better in, like app UI design. And like you just keep narrowing and narrowing and narrowing until you become like, oh, hey, I'm an expert in this. And then hopefully you grow and you branch out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like that it's that way with every walk of life, actually, every career. Because I know for like my brother is graduating from Yale this year, actually, for chemistry. He's getting his doctorate. So like when he was in undergrad, he was like going for chemistry. Yeah. But now he's like in the mass spectrometry program or something like that. And it's just fucking wild. So I think they do lasers or something. Me smart. So it's exactly the same kind of concept, right? You just keep narrowing down until you're like find yourself in this really minute field of expertise that you have. Right. Which is pretty fascinating, right? Because, you have to like step back and think. It's like when you have a skill like that, you're probably one of very, very few, if you're considering the entire world, that can do something like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, what else do you want to talk about?
All right. So there was another poll that we had, which was related to our game review last week. We did both the Left 4 Deads and Back 4 Blood. So if you are curious what we scored those, you can check that out on couchco.games. Couchcompany.games.
Couchcompany.games.
And our episode last week, you can also check that out there. But I was curious because we were talking about the multiplayer aspect of that, and it brought back a lot of fond memories. And one of the most fun aspects of the multiplayer, obviously, is playing as the special infected, right?
Right.
So I wanted to kind of gauge the audience. This one was not as popular as the muffin discussion, but it was still interesting to me. So I wanted to see what special infected everyone liked. So again, there's only 4 options. I wish I could have included all of them, but I think I got the 4 most popular, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. I mean, you saw it. So I had the Charger, the Jockey, the Tank, and the Smoker. I feel like those were pretty much everyone's favorite.
I'm shocked that you did the Jockey. I mean, maybe I just don't remember it as much. I always liked the what was the one like the jumper?
That was the I know what you're talking about. With the hood.
Yeah.
The guy with the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was between the Jockey and that one, but it was tough.
The Jockey's a little bit better. Like the Jockey, I will say it is fun to jump on somebody's head and like run them off a ledge.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of like where I was going with that. I have more specific memories of the Jockey, but it is fun. I can't think of what it's called right now.
I'm sure I'll think of it randomly.
I don't know. Anyways, it is fun.
I keep
like
wanting to say something with an R.
No, I thought it was like a creeper or something, but
I want to say Reaper.
Obviously not. Yeah. But anyways, he like jumps across the map, and it is pretty fun doing that. But anyways, our poll results were interesting, and the most popular one, according to our audience, is the Smoker. Yeah. 3 people voted for that, and 1 person voted for the Jockey. So that was pretty interesting. I would have thought it would have easily been Tank. So
people focus. So the thing with a tank, and maybe this is just people's way of playing the game, but the tank is so obvious, where it's like such an obvious threat. Everybody drops what they're doing to go after the tank.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's like, if you get a team that knows what they're doing, you can knock a tank down pretty quickly.
Right.
I mean, that's the same with any infected, but it's one of those things where like if you have a smoker like really stealthily kind of stalking back and stuff and waiting for that team to make one mistake.
Yeah.
There are plenty of places on maps where you can snag somebody
Stalker.
and you can't stalk you, right?
Yeah.
And you can't get them back. Like, you know, if you smoke somebody and grab them, there are places where like people drop down, you can't get back up there.
Right.
At least not easily.
Exactly.
That's the thing where you just, it's very strategic. And
I love playing a smoker, dragging them into a witch. Always feels fantastic.
Yep.
Things like that. My personal favorite actually is the Charger. And I'm surprised nobody voted for it, although we didn't have a lot of people voting. But the Charger was so much fun to me because you have these, you know, you can wind up, you can charge at them. You get these long corridors in some of these maps where you could just absolutely decimate a team if you line it up correctly.
Yeah.
And just pummel someone all the way back, like at the end of the hallway. It is like the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Just destroy them. So I had a lot of fun with that. I like this just running straight at them and see people freak out. But it is really interesting. I don't know what the consensus of the entire community would be. That would be pretty interesting. Maybe I am overvaluing the tank for reasons like you said. I just feel like it's fucking awesome being the tank, dude. You're just
I think it's
and
great for new players.
Yeah.
I think any veteran is going to get bored of the tank very quickly because there's a lot less strategy and more of just like, because he's so big, he can't, like, the music's playing, you can't sneak around. Like, I mean, you can definitely do damage, and there have been plenty of times where you wipe an entire team as a tank, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But again, when you start talking about that more elite, like, veteran play, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe our audience is all experts, which seems to be the case. So that's probably why they didn't vote for tank. But there is something to be said about playing with your friends or voice comms, you being the tank and just hearing the madness that ensues after that. So, you know,
Yeah.
there is something to be said about that. Well, those are the two polls we have this week. We're going to continue on with those. So check out our Twitter. That's out at Couch Company, right?
Couch Co Games.
Out Couch Co Games.
So that one's the Couch Co Games.
It says Couch Company on my phone here,
Yeah.
so I guess it doesn't tell me what our handle is on there. But at
Yeah.
Couch Co Games, you can also find it on Anchor. That's where we recommend to go for all our links. Or couchcompany.games. I'll get it one of these fucking
That's
days,
all right,
man.
You'll catch it at the tail end of the episode. when it matters.
Yeah. So I'm actually thinking about doing this new thing every Monday. I'm always trying to find a use for my useless degree, right?
Okay.
So every Monday, I might start educating the audience by doing Music Mondays and having one selection that we can take a listen to every Monday and
Nice.
link it on the old Twitter there.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Like broaden the, like we're so much more than just video games. I know like podcasting makes you lock into something.
Yeah, it does.
But we have some skills.
Yeah,
We
I have
can-
some thoughts
we can talk
about that.
Some stuff.
Speaking of music, actually, I did have my gig last week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was fun to play again, but it was interesting.
Okay.
The group I played with was interesting. It was pretty rough, dude. I don't know. It was like not a high paying gig, so I think a lot of the regulars didn't show up, which is
Yeah.
probably why I was there. And it was interesting.
Did people clap?
Yeah.
Or what was the gig? Like,
So
what were
it
you
was
doing?
actually really weird because it was like for this gathering, and I'm not even sure what it was for, some sort of banquet or something maybe, or a family reunion. They rented out this hall, like a fire hall or something, right? And they were just eating while we played. And then,
Huh.
you know, that was it. Like we literally were just playing for these people and they were eating, and there was a lot. I mean, the age ranged a lot. That's why I thought it was like a family gathering or something, or family
Yeah.
reunion, because there was like little kids there. And
Who brings a
I
live
don't know.
band in a
I
family reunion?
don't know. It was wild.
What if it was like a funeral?
No,
or something?
definitely not.
Not like an after, like a wake or like an after
No.
after party. I was gonna say after party.
No, they didn't
Yeah.
talk about anything like that unless unless
There
they
was
didn't announce anything.
You didn't see like two people, one in like a white dress, the other one kind of like a black, maybe tux.
You know,
or something
now
like
that you say that, it was actually at a chapel, and they were saying something about loving each other.
Yeah,
So
super
weird.
weird. Yeah,
No,
love
it
is
wasn't anything like
patient,
that. It was
kind.
literally just fucking random.
Yeah.
It was so weird. They let us. It was free food though. They let us eat first.
That's first.
Yeah, they were like, all right, the band's gonna eat first, and then they'll play, and we'll eat. I was like,
Nice.
all right,
Yeah,
So
that's pretty cool.
so I did that. It was a lot of fun. You know, it was pretty interesting that I was thinking about. So your fiance,
Yeah.
her father
Yeah.
is a musician. So
He
Chelsea's
is.
dad.
Very good one, yeah.
And I would be really curious. I don't know if he still listens to us, but I would be really curious about if he has any really funny gig stories to tell us.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. So,
He used to play with Johnny Angel in the Halos.
yeah, you were telling me that. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a great list of.
You don't get a name like Johnny Angel without getting some
yeah, some wild stories.
Yeah.
So, what I would love is if we can configure it. We can have him call in to our anchor and give us a little voice recording for next week. That would be cool.
All right.
I would love to hear from him about that.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll see how
We'll figure it out.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be cool.
All right.
A little challenge thrown out there for him.
Hopefully he hears it. I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming we can just tell him.
Sure.
Or tell Chelsea.
Yeah.
To tell him.
To call
Call
her,
us.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we have a lot of news in the gaming world, right?
A lot happened.
Let's go through that.
Okay,
What do you got up on deck first here?
Well, obviously you remember the Microsoft acquisition. It ends in 2023 of $70 billion to get Activision.
I may have heard about that.
So Sony was like, whoa.
And Blizzard.
We're gonna Activision Blizzard. And Sony's like, we're gonna do something similar. They bought Bungie. Maybe you've heard of them, of Halo fame and more recently Destiny. And even more recently Destiny 2.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it. Well, didn't they actually release that one game? Or maybe it didn't get released, but there was one game that they were working on. Yeah, is that what I'm thinking of?
That was before Halo, so I don't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I thought there was a I'll have to look that up. But I thought they were working on something and it was looking really rough.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Destiny 1 was kind of rough. Anyway,
that's true.
So Destiny 2 still doing fairly well. I think the new expansion's either out or coming out very, very soon. Definitely this month.
We saw that at the Game
the
Awards.
White Witch or something. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think
And it
so.
looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks like it's made years ago.
For Xbox 360.
Sure. Yeah. So anyway, Sony bought them for, I believe it was $3.6 billion. So a little bit less than Papa.
Sure,
Microsoft.
wasn't 3.6 trillion? Just to one up them.
Look, Bungie's great. I like their games. I think they feel real good, but I mean, you're not getting Call of Duty caliber like number of studios and all those other IPs. And
I actually saw this post on Reddit about this, so I know it's completely 100% accurate.
Obviously, yeah.
It's like saying something about Bungie left Microsoft because they wanted to do things on their own.
Yep.
And then they joined someone else.
They joined Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they left because they wanted to do something on their own.
Yeah.
Now they're joining Sony because they need help again.
Could you imagine if they were still with Activision Blizzard when
And they got back to
Microsoft bought them?
That would be awesome.
Oh my goodness. Because that's really like, what other shooter does Microsoft not
I feel like the
have?
meme for that would have to be Scorpion. Is Microsoft.
Just get it over, get it over here.
and
One of the interesting things with this, and this gets kind of weird, back in, I don't know, I think it was last year, the year prior, Sony did a deal with Microsoft. So a lot of their streaming stuff and I don't know all the details on that, but like Microsoft and Sony are in bed together with that.
Right.
But Destiny 2 is very much on Google Stadia, if you remember that.
Does that still
That's
exist?
like one of the, it's literally just a wireless Destiny box.
That's so funny. Wireless Destiny box.
But Bungie said they're still going to support Stadia. So, like, what does that look like? If Sony has a contract with Microsoft not to do other streaming stuff, how does that play with Bungie's thing? It's very weird.
I'm nodding my head like I know anything about how that would play out.
A lot of people are saying, like, okay, hey, what if... did you ever play Resistance way back in the day? Like, you had your Gears of War, that was the flagship for Xbox, and then you had Resistance on PlayStation. No? Yeah.
Did you play that?
I mean, yeah, I played them, but, like, did I like them that much? Not really. I think I beat 3 and played 1 and 2. I don't know. They were fine, but people were like, "Whoa, what if Bungie picks up Resistance and they not remaster, but like redo, like kind of invigorate Resistance,
revive it,
and,
yeah.
So that can make like reboot it, kind of, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
It is funny though. So Sony came out and said, okay, over the next 4 years, they want 10 live games. So like games as a service. So like your Destinies and stuff like that. So 10 over the course of 4 years.
That's disgusting.
And apparently Bungie's a big, player in that. Well, obviously, because you have Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, you don't stop Destiny, right? Like, you probably make a Destiny 3,
milk
I
it.
guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting how that plays out. I think, like you said, it's an interesting. I mean, who else do they have to choose from at that point? I mean, Microsoft's taking everything.
Yeah, I mean, like you have your EAs, Ubisoft, and we talked about this on the other episode. So go check.
Yeah, but
that
unless
one
you're
out.
hurting, I suspect that the next acquisition will be EA. There's just no way they can sustain what they're doing.
I would agree with you only because Ubisoft well, maybe Take-Two, but Ubisoft really pushes back when people try to acquire them.
I think
they
Ubisoft,
fight.
as far as I understand, is doing okay, better than EA. Like, I was sending you all these memes, dude, because there's literally an account on YouTube that's dedicated to just trashing the new Battlefield. And like, for example, the meme today, I didn't send this to you, but it was like the recycle bin icon throughout the years. And it was like old Windows 95 and going through the years. And it's like 2022, Battlefield 2020, whatever. And I just found it hilarious.
So now there are rumors that Battlefield is going to, like, parts of it are going to go free to play, which ticks me off as a person who paid for the game, and it's a broken game. They can't even get the score on their scoreboard. And now they're saying it's not coming until March.
Dude, that's unbelievable. And here's the thing, too. I mean, we actually like really enjoyed Halo.
Yeah.
But didn't they just push Forge back and that stuff?
They pushed that stuff back. I think they just we haven't played Halo in a while, right? But I think they just released a patch for Big Team. Apparently, Big Team Battle was
it wasn't
for
working.
A long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's all these
ridiculous,
like
man.
half done games that, like, I understand you're up against like deadline, you have to do certain, but it's just like you have to look at a graph, and maybe they just don't have the data for this yet, or maybe honestly the bigwigs don't care. But like, you have to have some sort of metric where, like, especially if you're EA and you were rated the worst company how many years in a row, right?
Dude, they don't give a fuck,
right? But like, knowing that, and it's like your reputation means nothing. I guess like
they're just counting the billions of dollars that Madden Ultimate Team's giving them, and fucking FIFA, whatever.
But like, how? Look at CD Projekt Red, and maybe everyone's just all talk right now. And once they announce Witcher 4, everyone's going to go ballistic, and it's going to not matter, and people are going to forget about Cyberpunk. But like, think about how much
they'll really do Witcher 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can't win all this Game of the Years and not work on Witcher 4. They just announced.
Dude, whatever
today,
happened to like, you know, telling a succinct story and then fucking doing something else?
I mean, Witcher 3. Yeah, well, I mean, a bit like, look at, well, we could have a big conversation on that. But look at so Grand Theft Auto. They just announced they're well in their way of looking at 6.
Yeah.
So like that's something. Witcher, I think, is something that they
that's
could
a
do.
little different though.
How many Uncharted games they come out, and like Uncharted 3 ended, and everyone's like, perfect. This is a good ending. Everyone loves it. And Uncharted 4, all the way up to Uncharted 4 releasing, we were just like, oh, do we really want another Uncharted? And like, Uncharted 4 arguably might be the best game of the franchise.
Story-wise?
Which is
Really?
Yes.
I haven't played any of them, so.
Uncharted 4 is graphic, like visually,
well, the same could be
all
said
that
about
stuff.
God of War, right? Like,
Absolutely.
we wrapped God of War up. It was like, wow, this is legendary.
Yeah, so like, there's
and then
definitely
years
room.
later is like, oh no, there's another story to tell. But that's the point. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying you have to bring it back to our artist point, you have to have a story in mind. There has to be a purpose to what you're doing.
Yeah.
If the purpose is to make money, that's going to be so obvious. Okay, people can tell.
Or the purpose is, oh, we put one of these out every single year. We can't
exactly.
miss a
That's
year.
the same. It's the same exact thing.
Well, that's the rumor now, that once Microsoft actually gets kind of their claws into Call of Duty, and it's a actual like Microsoft joint, hey, maybe take a year off. Let Warzone run for a year by itself, and then take like, you know, some time and make a quote unquote good Call of Duty.
Absolutely. And back in the day, when we think about the golden age of Call of Duty, which we talk about quite a bit, we had a situation where it was Treyarch and Activision, you know, taking turns.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was every year or whatever actually didn't get affected too much because it's two complete different studios.
And now you have, what, 14 studios or 11 studios working on the new Call of Duty? Like
Modern Warfare 2? Dude, who fucking knows? Like, it's just crazy to me. I just don't understand how back in like 10, 15 years ago, we talk about Portal, okay, because I just played Portal. Like, how can a game like that get it so much more right than...
Yeah, it's 10 people.
That's what I'm saying. It's so fucking crazy. And, I mean, we see today the best games are like indie games.
Yeah.
Like Hades is one of the best games I've played in recent memory.
Yep.
Okay, polished, It works. So much content. Like you pay once and you get all this content and you can play it over and over and seamlessly ending experience.
Video games are hard, man. Like
I understand it's so difficult, but I don't know. It seems just disingenuous to demand $70 for
that's a whole
broken game.
Too, yeah.
That's a ton of money, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's just insane to me. When Hades is like, what, 30?
Yep.
And it's infinitely more fun than a lot of these other AAA titles. I guess my point is there's no excuse. If you have all this funding, all these assets and resources, there should be no excuse why this game shouldn't be so much better.
You want me to throw a number out there? You want to talk about funding? Remember the game Star Citizen? That I funded?
God damn it.
You know how long it's been in production?
10 years.
10 years. Well, 9 years, but almost a decade. You know how much money it raised? Did you see this?
Was it over $1 billion?
No. But $434 million.
That's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money of just fundraising. That's insane.
It's the biggest scam ever.
The reason why that's back in the news headlines now is they just rolled back. They're like, we're going to be less detailed with our roadmap because it's just disappointing people.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've been very open on how fluid this is. It's like, you've changed engines 6 times. Like, come on. I want to fly my ship and be Han Solo. How hard is that?
Not hard.
Give me a ship. Give me a couple crates of spice.
I don't understand.
Find someone to smuggle.
Tyler just wants to relive Star Wars
That's
Galaxy
all I want to do.
So bad.
It's all there. It's right there. It's ready to go. Except it's not ready to go.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I mean,
I have not played it more. It has an alpha out. It runs like crap. And I don't know how people can run the game well. Like I put everything down to low and it's trash. It's bad.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I find situations like that sometimes.
Yeah. Even just turning off like motion blur, which honestly at this point they might have. I didn't have it. Like last time I played, there wasn't anti-aliasing, there wasn't motion blur turn off, like all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's got to be the biggest scam ever.
That's what people are starting to say. Where it's like, okay, get my money back.
Yeah,
I put like $100 in that game for nothing.
Yeah, it's literally a scam, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I guess there is something there, but
sure.
I mean, you couldn't get into it though. That was the biggest meme for the longest time, right?
Yeah,
were you able to get back into it?
I finally got. Yeah, you get like double authentication codes and everything.
There you go.
Yeah, I got that.
And you were disappointed again.
Yeah, I finally got it. And I was like, oh, and I played maybe 10 minutes. I'm like, this is still garbage.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Someday, Tyler, we will make a game.
Someday. One other news story before we move on. Congratulations to Phil Spencer, who is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the DICE Awards.
Excellent.
Yeah. They put a news story out where he was the one that basically forced leadership to do the Game Pass. Because they were like kind of like hemming and hawing about it, and they're like, I don't know if this is the right thing. He's like, we need to do this. And he just kind of like really made it happen.
Yeah.
If we believe what the news story says. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure other people are in there. Yeah. So congratulations to him. I think Todd Howard's presenting the award. So nothing like buying a company and then forcing its creative director to give you an award. But
that is awesome. I love that. If I had a lot of money, I'd do that too.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just see how things go. The state of games makes me cry sometimes.
So the Steam sale was just ended, I think, on the 3rd. What's today? The 4th?
Yes.
So it ended yesterday. And I played a few games, and I was like, some of these are good. And like, there's a game called Dreamscaper, which was like okay. I think it was like $17, and I was like, I'm not gonna play this once Dying Light comes out, so I got a refund on it.
Yeah.
And then like today it's like, hey, guess what? It's on Game Pass. There's another game, Skull something. It's a little like side scroller, like platformer combat thing, on Game Pass. And it's just like everything I have on my wish list, I'm just going through deleting it as it just pops up on Game Pass. Everything, man. Dude,
Game Pass is taking over. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in it now.
Well, now you're looking at it and it's like, it's $10. And I'm starting to doing the math of like, I'd pay like $20 for this. Like, I understand that's a lot of money, but when you look at the breadth of games on there, like it's still just significantly cheaper than anything. Like I just got Dying Light. That's $60 right there. I
don't know why you paid $20 for it.
What do you mean?
You said, don't you have like the premium version of Game Pass?
No, I pay 10. What I'm saying is if they increase it to 20, because that's the fear that everyone has right now is get everybody.
Have they said anything about increasing it to 20? I haven't heard anything like that.
Microsoft talked about increasing Xbox Live once. keep in mind, they have never increased Xbox Live since its like inception.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we're going to increase this. And people flipped.
Yeah.
So not only did they leave the price as is, but then they said, guess what? Now you don't need Xbox Live to play things like Fortnite, watch Netflix, do all the online stuff.
Right.
And they kind of brought their level of like modern era online.
It's really interesting, man. And I feel like we talk about this a lot, but the two different approaches that these two competing companies have, mainly just, Xbox and PlayStation, or Sony and Microsoft.
I think you could lump Nintendo in there.
Yeah, Nintendo kind of does its own thing, though. It's pretty interesting. But if we're talking about anything online, Nintendo's by far the fucking worst.
But that's a choice. You know what I mean? So my
well,
thing
a lack
with that,
thereof, I would say.
Well, no,
it's their choice to.
They know what they're doing. Like, come on. You can't tell me.
They don't purposely make it fucking terrible.
I think they do.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'd love to hear this theory.
I think they are a family-driven, family-focused thing. So they put a lot on, okay, what's our demographic? Kids, like small kids, blah, 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 blah. Here are the safety measures, whether they're right or wrong or if we agree with them or not. This is what they deem is the correct path for their base. So, it's the same thing with,
but their shit doesn't work.
I completely agree with that. But what I'm saying is you can't tell me that a company like Nintendo can't Google Nintendo Online or Google their name or every time a new Pokemon game comes out and it doesn't have cloud save, right? I was just complaining about this the other night.
You can say that about any company, so I don't know if they're just not listening or...
Well, but that's what I'm saying, is they choose not to do something. It's not like they're incapable of it. You can't tell me that, the only way to get voice chat on Mario Party is to hook up a special headset into your phone that then hooks up into your Switch or whatever the heck you do.
Right.
That's impossible. I refuse to believe that they could not get somebody to come in there and revamp it. They are putting all of their energy on other things because they don't need it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It may surprise you sometimes if you saw the inner workings.
Well, yeah, that's completely fair.
I mean, we both work for large companies, and you would think with all the money and resources that they have, there's no way they could overlook X when we know for a fact that they're not even aware of it sometimes. It's insane.
I guess.
Because you get to a certain point where you make decisions where you're at an executive level and you're so far above what actually happens that sometimes you lose touch with what the actual problems are.
Or the decisions you made 20 years ago are still in effect, where it's we made X decisions on our infrastructure and it would cost this much to redo it, or we just take the PR hit for
maybe it's a pride thing too, where it's this is the decision we made. It definitely works. We'll make it work. You know what I mean? That could be it. I mean, it's not easy to saying that your shit sucks.
I guess you have. I guess what I was saying is you have Nintendo on one side of the spectrum that's online, nah. And then you have, I guess they do have their backwards compatible library or whatever you can pay for.
I would say largely the online play it's dumpster.
Terrible, yeah. So you have that, and then Xbox on let's put everything, just software service, just pay us a thing, and just do it.
So much crossplay.
Subjectively the best. I mean, I think, we think it's a good value. And I think you can't fight against the value proposition.
Right.
Now, is it good or bad for the industry? That's a whole other conversation. But those are the two competing kind of things. And then you have Sony just kind of in the middle, pinging back and forth, just trying to play the crowd almost.
Sony seems like a middle ground where their online play isn't bad. Although I will say that I remember back in the day when they were free, how rough that was.
Yeah. You get what you pay for.
Absolutely, which was nothing back then.
Right.
So,
and you still get the exact same thing, but now you got to pay for it. So.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it's definitely better than something like Nintendo, but like we said a million times, the two philosophies that I'm seeing here, and would you agree with the assessment that Nintendo is kind of similar to Sony, where they focus on their, specific platform games,
like the first party stuff?
Stuff, yeah. And that's the kind of the eggs they put in their basket. You know what I mean? Because if you take Mario and Pokemon away from Nintendo,
take your Zelda away or whatever.
What else do you have? At that point, right? So Sony's kind of the same way in my view, right? If you're playing something online, especially with the increase of crossplay that we're seeing between PC and Xbox, that seems more friendly to online play than PlayStation does.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, like even something like Dying Light that just came out, I wasn't even thinking, I guess the other side of that is Dying Light does not have crossplay currently.
Right.
It has it based off of your platform. So like PS4 can play with PS5.
Yeah.
But that's it. So Dying Light, like I wasn't even thinking about it where it's like, oh, I'm going to play with my cousin. It's like, nope, he's on Xbox, I'm on PC, can't play yet.
That's a big issue in today's times. Both my brothers have Xboxes, and obviously I have a PC. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people are in this situation where crossplay needs to be. That's something like if I was in charge of a company, like gaming company,
right?
That's I would put a focus on that for sure. I think that's like a big thing because your mission statement should be something along the lines of we want to let as many people enjoy the experience as possible.
Well, I mean,
with
I
each
think
other,
every
right?
mission statement is that. They just have a nice little invisible asterisk that says as long as it's on our platform.
Yeah.
We want everyone to play together on our platform.
Yeah, but Microsoft owns Windows.
Oh, yeah, don't give me
Xbox.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
that seems like a no-brainer to me. If I was Microsoft, I would make as much as I can crossplay.
But every game that Microsoft controls is crossplay.
Exactly.
The thing you guys keep in mind
right.
is the third parties. That's up to them.
Right, exactly. So that's why they get the
Until
edge for me.
Microsoft buys them. Then they force them out.
That's true. That's what I'm saying in terms of that.
Yeah.
Like, you can play your Halo with your cousin.
Yeah.
Or whatever else.
Well, he doesn't like Halo, but anyway. I digress.
Right.
Talk to me about Portal 2, because I know we're
I haven't played Portal
48
2.
minutes in. All right. Talk to me about the first one. Then we'll talk about Portal 2 later. So Portal, the first game.
Yeah.
2007.
2007, developed by Valve.
Went back in time. Yeah.
So obviously this game is legendary. I've known about this game for a long time. I know about the memes or the meme, I guess there's multiple memes, but
sure.
The whole cake is a lie thing. I know about that.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew pretty much the gist of it, but I never played it. And you ever run into one of those situations where it's like, oh, you must do this, and everyone tells you you have to do this, you have to read this, you have to watch that, you got to play this. It just makes you not want to play it.
Yeah.
The more people tell you it. So that's what happened with this. 15 years later, I am now playing it for content, selling out, as you might say. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game. As someone who doesn't like puzzle games, it was pretty fun. Now, granted, it wasn't extremely long, and I don't think the puzzles were incredibly over challenging. It seemed pretty fair to me. And also, Tyler was with me to help me out whenever I needed
I feel like I didn't. I know you said that. I don't think I really helped you out too much.
There maybe been a couple moments, but I did actually, and this was actually a pretty interesting playthrough. And I know that I was plugging it a lot in the beginning, but I really do recommend checking it out because Tyler actually went through all the commentary that the game has the night before. So he was just a walking encyclopedia of information about the game.
It was maybe half because we were talking obviously, and you were flying through some stuff.
Right.
So I gave you maybe half of the comment. The commentary is fascinating. It's very cool.
From what you were saying, it was really awesome. So check that out because Tyler does a fantastic job of regurgitating all this information. But the thought process, understanding the thought process that went behind in this game, like Tyler would tell me, oh, you see that panel there? They shifted it this way because they want you to look up. Or
the play testing.
Yeah, they found that in play testing, people would try to jump on the rails, so they made it kill you. And then they were like, well, that, people were upset at that. So
took it too far.
Yeah, exactly. So that stuff's really interesting to me. And it kind of lets you appreciate how much thought. Talking earlier, right, when we're talking about art, I consider video game an art form, creating video games for sure. And making conscious decisions like that, thinking about these different processes, experiences that playtesters are going through and shifting things to get the result that you want or adapting things for a result that you didn't even see happening, which is something that you were telling me that this game did, right? There was a couple multiple solutions for a couple levels. And that's awesome to me because I think in a lot of games, especially if you're creating a game or whatever, there's a certain way that you expect people to play it, right? And especially in a puzzle game, right? Because you're trying to solve a puzzle. Right. So The fact that they can be mature enough to say, you know what, that's really cool. I like how they did this and incorporate it into the game is really awesome to see. So
yeah, the stipulation there was like if somebody, I'm going to put it in like air quotes, like cheated a puzzle or
Right.
they didn't solve it the way they were meant to solve it. In the beginning, they would retool it because and you went through this in the beginning levels, you were learning things.
Yes.
You were learning the mechanics, learning what was expected of you to play it out.
yeah.
Towards the like middle end of the second act, before you kind of get out of the testing area.
Yeah.
That's when they kind of open it up. And it's like, well, you have all the tools and like do whatever you want. Like it's what if you solve it and you kind of cheese the system, that typically takes more effort and more thought than the other way. So it's
Right.
like, just do it, go for it. Like,
Yeah, I love that.
that is neat. Yeah, it was very, very fascinating how much they had to. It's like they don't say this, but they're like, players are stupid. Players don't look up in video games. Like you just don't. And I was like, no, and granted, I played it before, so I knew to look up and that sort of thing.
Right.
But watching you play it, and granted, you didn't hear the sound cue, but you were just like running around, not looking up. I was like,
It would have taken me a while.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like like knowing what to look for and how people were doing different things. Like the one thing where it's like, oh, there used to be stairs here, but people don't know to shoot a portal across the map. And it took you a second to be like, oh, okay, I got to shoot over. And like watching you connect the dots almost exactly how the playtesters were forced to connect the dots. It was amazing. It was so good.
I am an average bloke. So therefore I probably fall into that category.
You're you're a gamer that never played this game that you're seeing it for the first time. You never played it before and you don't like the genre.
Yep.
So like it was fascinating. It was great to watch it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your experience while watching me go through that.
It's tough because it's one of those things like on one hand, okay, it's a 2-hour game. It's easy enough for you to be like, oh, okay, I get what this is trying to do.
Yeah.
I think Gladys was like funny and stuff like that, but all the dialogue and all the really good story bits and everything, like the entire time I'm watching you play, I'm like, man, 2 is so good. 2 is so good.
Yeah. So I can definitely the game's old. And I can definitely feel that. I still think it holds up incredibly well, actually, for being 15 years old.
Yeah, like the art style and everything is good.
Yeah, because it's so simple. That now, granted, when you get out of the testing rooms, it does look like a
little rough.
But I will say, though, and I was thinking about this while you were talking, this might be the best game I've ever played in terms of like a tutorial. Because they incorporate the tutorial, like you're saying. They're teaching you how to play. They do very specific things. Like something that comes to mind is you were telling me when you're getting the other half of your portal gun, it's the slow moving platform moving towards it. Mm-hmm. And that's to emphasize the fact that you're now completing this tool that you have. Yeah. Right? It's a monumentous moment. And they don't have to do anything crazy except something like really little like that to emphasize this moment.
Like little thing, and the stuff that I didn't even talk about on the video, where it's like, that room, which is like the final piece of your portal gun, is in a circle, and you go to different parts of the room, but the portal gun's always in the middle. You're always looking at the portal gun, right? You know that, okay, I got to get that. That's what goal. I want, right? Yeah. There were certain times when it's like, oh, there used to be a button that you stood on to open up a door that you shoot a portal through. But the problem was because the buttons were associated with cubes, people would spend more time looking for cubes and getting frustrated they couldn't find cubes. So they're like, okay, we'll get rid of the button.
Took a hand button.
They did a little pedestal button thing. Yeah. So then they hit the pedestal button, but people wouldn't notice the door moving, which you got it right away. So congrats on that. But they didn't notice the door going up and down, right? So then they added the little sound cue of this timer, like the tick, tick, tick. So it gives you, okay, I'm being
something's happening.
Yeah, I have to do something quickly.
Which is an amazing feeling. Like little things like that, like gamer intuition.
Yep.
When you hear a timer like that, instantly you jump into action. You start looking everywhere. It's so fascinating like that. Like it really deconstructs the gamer mindset. And, like with the looking up thing or whatever the case may be. Yep. And really is interesting how they piece those things together. So I will say, like I said, it's like amazing because it didn't feel like a tutorial. Like you're playing through the game. It makes sense in terms of the story, right? Might be the best tutorial ever. And it's, I mean, what even does it even constitute as a tutorial? It's like actual levels. So
it's a seamless integration,
right,
for that. Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, there's only one character in the game. Essentially, I guess there's two, but one voiced character, which is her name's Gladys, right?
Yeah.
So, and she's pretty funny. And it's interesting, like, you know, there's a plot twist, and I'm sure like when you played that in 2007, it was like kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can kind of get the hints of it, but actually, no, I would wager that it would be mind blowing, right? Because now you're like behind the scenes and stuff. That must have been pretty shocking.
Whenever I first played it, I do remember like getting out and being like, "Oh, I'm like breaking the game." I'm like, dude, it was a very cool feeling.
Yeah. So, it was cool. I had a good time with that.
So what are you rating it? Because we have to put this on our list now.
That's interesting. So here's the thing. I am anticipating that this is a Left 4 Dead situation, very similar to that. So if you listen to our episode on that, we rated Left 4 Dead 1 a 79, I believe.
78.
78. And we rated Left 4 Dead 2 like an 86.
Yep.
And I am suspecting that this is going to be a similar situation.
Interesting.
Okay. Not exactly the same. I would probably rate I would probably rate Portal higher than Left 4 Dead 1, just from what I remember. It seems a little bit to hold up a little bit better. But I don't think Portal 1 has enough substance to be considered great. I think that's where Portal 2 is going to fall, because just from hearing you talk about it and from what I've seen, it seems like there's a lot more substance in that game, and that's where you really get a lot of the payoff.
Yeah, I think the dialogue is really good. I think they have completely new mechanics, which are awesome, which that was another thing, is apparently the original Portal 2 didn't have portals in it. They were trying some other stuff.
Oh, really?
And eventually the playtesters were like, we like all the mechanics. It had something to do with like camera shutters, because there's aperture science.
Oh,
and
I see, yeah.
And they're like, we like what you're doing, but like, it's called Portal. Like, we want the Portal. Yeah. So Gabe Newell came actually down and was like, no, you're doing Portals.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah. All right, so give me a score. Like,
all right, so I am thinking, well, this is a collaboration, right?
It is. I'm curious on where you stand.
Yeah, so I would say right now I would say 81 or 82.
81 or 82.
Here's the thing, Tyler. It's a 2-hour game.
Yeah. A succinct, perfect, masterful. I would agree with that. Whenever you started talking about Left 4 Dead, I was getting a little nervous because I don't want to see it below an 80.
No, I don't think exactly. I don't think it's going to be below an 80.
I think part of the criteria was, is it playable? Yes, I think it still holds up today for sure.
The mechanics are nice. They feel good.
Yeah, I think it gets a little messier than I remember once you're behind the scenes. Now, I think some of that is intentional, and it's still well designed. So I don't want to say like you're glitching out or something.
No,
but there was enough little like nuisances or little things you kind of had to like kind of fumble your way for.
Yep.
Where the beginning game felt very like deliberate and like it worked better than the second half. Especially watching you play it and saying like, oh, okay, like I can click on this wall, but I can't on this one and stuff. And I just played through it as well, just to, kind of go through the puzzles.
Which is, like you said, a little bit intentional.
Yeah.
The testing area in the beginning part of the game is supposed to be clean and succinct and have specific rules. And then you're supposed to go behind the scenes and break the game, quote unquote.
Right.
So it should feel a little more janky, I guess. But exactly, there were some points where things weren't lining up correctly. I remember the moving pipes in particular. Right. I would sometimes like die on those when I felt like I was in the portal. So I don't know. There was a little bit. And let's be honest, it looked really rough when we got behind the scenes. Yeah. It was not very good looking. I will say the testing areas still look pretty good, and the signs and everything. So those still looked good, but yeah, I don't know.
I can meet you at an 82.
Okay. See, I don't think I can give it more than an 82. I don't think there's enough there for me to warrant that, personally. I think it still definitely belongs in silver tier, and that's midway through silver tier. I think that's a solid silver tier.
So let me ask you, like, do you feel better at like an 80?
No.
Okay.
Because I think there's enough there. There's like excellent mechanics. The whole, thought process on how they introduce. Like I said, this might be the best tutorial, if you can even call it that, integration I've ever played.
I think the other thing to keep in mind too, because we didn't do this, is there are a ton of like challenge maps, bonus maps,
true.
new map. Like it's not like just rehashing the same thing. Like they're actually like new stuff.
Right.
So there is kind of that other.
There's another element to the game,
where it's like, it is only 2 hours, but you could feasibly put a lot more in. Like there's a lot of like Easter eggs, hidden things you can do.
Right.
I think there's like 26 little hidden messages you can find and stuff like that.
I found some of them.
You did, yeah.
But I'm good with 82.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You good with 82?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a fair score for that.
I will fight you on Portal 2 whenever that eventually comes around.
For what?
It's gonna be high, buddy.
Oh, jeez. All right, we'll see.
No, I think it's gonna be a very interesting thing.
I'm excited for Portal 2. Like, it's obviously just a better version of the game.
Yeah,
which is why I compare
full, like multiplayer, single player, all of it.
It's why I compare it to Left 4 Dead. I feel like it's a very similar situation where Left 4 Dead 2 is just a better version of Left 4 Dead 1. You get the multiplayer, you get the close combat weapons, quality of life stuff, right?
The thing with Left 4 Dead 2, and not to get off topic on that, is that came out a year after.
That's true.
Left 4 Dead 1 came out on day and date. I think it was like November 17th.
Yeah.
So the fact that I think that's when people felt a little burned when it was like, oh, wait a minute. So we're paying another $60 for like a year later. Same people that
the jump that they made,
Call of Duty,
though,
yeah, sure,
is pretty impressive.
And
which just begs the question why they didn't just wait. And then
I think they brought in Left 4 Dead maps too. I think the 2 and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so they
I believe so.
bridged the gap there. I think they made good on it, but whatever.
How long was Portal in between those two games?
More than a year, for sure. Yeah, it was a few years.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll have to play that, and we will see how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'm looking
like
forward to it. I don't remember. I mean, I didn't remember a lot of Portal 1 either, but Portal 2 is so diverse in what you can do in the different locations and stuff that it's pretty. And the dialogue is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. So there it is.
Cool. I know we had other games to rate. Maybe we skip those, do it for next time. Let's hit up the top 5.
Let's hit up the top 5.
Yeah.
This week is pretty interesting, Tyler.
Uh-huh.
If our listeners have been with us for a while now, they know that we have a very special episode that we've recorded where we did top 5 letters of the English alphabet.
Yep.
I only felt that it would be a natural progression to do top 5 numbers of the numeric alphabet. Now, to be fair, this suggestion did come to us from our handy dandy research department. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. We did not research anything, so we're gonna do this list for you here.
So let me ask you this, and I
feel like we have a lot of experience with numbers. Your question.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have asked earlier.
Yeah.
Are we talking like 0 through 9?
No.
Yikes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I shall kick it off.
If you please do. You know that's infinite numbers.
Yes. We will rate anything, Tyler. That is our motto.
This is a terrible idea. Are we doing decimals?
Absolutely.
God. Okay.
All right. I will start it off. How do you feel about the number 0?
It's fine.
It's fine? Dude, you can't even divide by it. I feel like that's crazy.
0 is pretty cool.
I feel like that 0 is actually a really interesting number when it comes to mathematics.
What's the criteria of the numbers? Like, what are we hitting for? I know the alphabet was a little loosey-goosey, but like
the top 5 numbers.
Yeah, but like what are you so if you're coming up with your numbers and your lists, as John, what are you looking for in a number?
Okay, there's a lot of different criterias. Obviously how impactful it is in mathematics. So for example, something like 0 is pretty interesting. Even though I probably don't know all the ways that it's interesting in mathematics, I do know that it is an interesting number.
Okay.
Just because it's so vastly different than everything else, right? It's like the absence of something. Also, I would say meme factor. There are a lot of memey numbers, and those are going to be pretty high in my rankings for one reason or another. And then anything else? I don't know. Those are the two things the criteria that I'm factoring in.
Okay.
How about you?
I got nothing.
Okay, excellent.
No, so I don't particularly like math. I'm not very good at math. So everything numbers wise that I care about has to do with design.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
8.
It's a number.
It's a number. So let me give you something with 8. 8 is the only number I'm going to fight for very hard.
Really?
Yeah. So my thing with 8 is if you look at a ton of design systems. So a few years back, Google came out with their design system called Material Design.
Yeah.
And it was very simplistic. And hey, this is how revolutionary of everyone kind of like copies, right?
Right.
And when you look at different design languages within like UI design and UX and different things like that, a grid of 8 pixels just keeps popping up, right? So, 8, 16, 32, 48, whatever. And you keep multiplying by 8s. Technically 4s too, if you're talking about the type scale, but I know your eyes are glassing over and stuff.
No,
but that's
I'm
why
trying to follow you here
with 8, and then you start looking at it like just multiples of 8. So like you want to talk about, I don't know, RAM. Like, okay, cool, 512, 32, 64. Like, it's endless with that stuff.
Right.
It all goes back to 8. I don't know.
8 is the answer.
8's the answer
to a lot of things.
Yeah.
I will put it on the maybe list.
All right.
Because I have
put it
some
right
more.
next to 0.
I think 0 is interesting.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
What is 8 except 2 zeros on top of each other? Really?
That's an excellent
Thank
point.
you. What is 8 besides an infinity symbol vertically?
Infinity's not a number, right?
No.
Okay. How do you feel about pi?
Yeah, that's fine.
Jesus Christ.
All right, 3.14. Give me some other ones.
What?
How do you feel about pi?
It's essential.
Cool. What number is after 4 on pi?
1.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the thing. No one knows.
It doesn't matter. It's
Somebody's
about what it
screaming at me.
means.
Yeah.
It's
What does it mean?
Essential for circles.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't it in a lot of like area of a circle and everything like that?
I only care about the diameter of circles in design.
Yeah, it's like 2 pi r.
I don't know.
Well, the diameter is just all the way across.
Yeah, it's the width.
Yeah, but
or height, depending.
well, no, that would be another dimension.
The height? If it's a circle, the height and the width are the same.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
you're right. I'm thinking. Well, no, isn't it length and width, and then height is the third dimension?
Well, what?
It's length,
width, and height,
and width.
Yeah.
2D.
Yeah.
And then height is that third dimension.
Like yeah. You're talking about 3D. I'm sorry. I'm still in my UI.
No, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really matter, but
the Z plane, sure.
Man, this is gonna be a tough episode.
Yeah.
Top 5. But hey, we're gonna battle through it. It can't be any harder than the months.
I thought we were doing 10 numbers. I didn't know it was infinity.
Well, I guess we can do 10 numbers,
no,
but we can't now.
How do you feel about 69?
Exactly. I mean, 69 has to be on the list,
right?
How do you feel about 420? Really?
Yeah.
It's as memey as it gets.
Yeah, but is it like you could do 412?
Why?
Because we're Pittsburghers. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, but 420 is a little more universal than 412.
That's honest. Sure. If you want to put 420, I'm not going to fight you. I told you, I'm going to fight over
420
100.
on there, dude.
All right, hold on. I
feel like I have
start
to
putting these numbers down. I don't know. Hold on 1 second here.
No, you're good. I can't believe you don't want pi on the list. That seems like it has to be on the list.
It was 3.141592.
I fucking knew it.
Thank you, Chelsea, for texting me.
I knew it was one after that, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. What else do you...
My favorite number is 10.
Why?
I have no idea.
This is a great list.
It just looks cool. Dude, whenever I was playing sports, I always wanted to be number 10.
Dude, number 10 might be the worst number.
Absolutely. Get the fuck out of here.
No, in design.
Oh, in design.
In design, number 10
Not
might
on the
be
back
the
of the
worst
jersey.
number.
On the back of a jersey looks cool.
Yeah, but okay, so...
That's design.
If you're talking about like a monospace thing, then sure. In design, the problem is again, I know this is a very design-focused episode.
Well, you got to go with what you know, man.
Yeah, right. The kerning or the letter spacing between numbers, especially with ones and zeros, always suck. One's always terrible in most fonts. It's garbage.
Right.
So you always have to like go in and like tweak stuff to make it look good and design and things like that, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. But that makes sense.
But if you like 10, we can.
I do like 10, but list. I mean, if you hate 10, we're not going to put it on the list.
Is it the top 5 number? I mean, why isn't 5 on the list? You know what I mean? That's
because I don't like the way 5 looks.
We're saying top 5s.
That's true. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, it's 5
special number on there.
But there's a lot of top 10s as well.
Yeah,
not for Couch Company.
Sure, no, that's silly.
How do you feel about the number 7? It's supposed to be a lucky number.
Yeah, it's
and conversely 13, which is supposed to be an unlucky number.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are talking about like different like prime numbers. 7 prime number.
Yeah.
So like you have those, I guess. Do you like 7? Like, is that something that's
not really? I was thinking about 777, which seems like a jackpot.
Yeah.
That seems kind of cool.
Top 5?
Dude, you're not giving me any better examples.
No, you're right. I'm being very unhelpful. How about 4,073?
And what is that?
Those are the 3 biblical numbers put together. So 40 for the flood, and then 7, which is like, the 7 days of creation, and 3 is Jesus rises again.
Okay,
that was my So it was my.
That was my grandparents speaking.
Well, my favorite number was 7.
Okay,
whenever I was little.
Oh.
Yeah, and because I didn't know any better, I only knew 7 numbers. And
wow,
my grandpa's favorite number was 40, and my grandma's favorite number was 3. So I always put them together. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Is it top 5?
No, it's very
what about
random.
Conversely? What about 666?
Oh, you can't.
The devil's number.
Yeah, I feel pretty bad about putting that on.
Okay.
But then again, 69's on there. So, like...
Dude, you have to put 69 on the list.
Yeah, sure.
I will be fighting very hard for 69.
How about 57? Like the Heinz ketchup.
I hate ketchup.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
what's Master Chief's number? 112?
117.
117. Thank you. How do you feel about that?
It's good. Buddy, you cut me off guard because, again, I thought we were talking about 10 numbers. I had arguments
how are we
going
to rank 10 numbers?
I don't know.
I feel like there has to be a minimum requirement of what we can rank.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And you immediately, the minimum requirement is infinity.
That would be the maximum.
Yeah, but we didn't put a limit on anything. So let me see what we got right now. We have 0.
Yeah.
You want 117 on the list?
Why not?
Is there another video game reference that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. In Final Fantasy, isn't quad 7s something?
Probably trip 7s.
Yeah, it's like trip 7s.
It definitely is in Cookie Clicker.
Yeah, if you do like trip 7s in Final Fantasy 7, you like
break the game.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, Kyle, help me out here, man. I need a lifeline. Something happens.
What else we got? We got 10. We got 8.
We have 5, 8.
5.
Do you want 7 on there?
0, 117. If we're going to put something on there, I would say we put 777 on.
777.
Sure.
We have 69. We have 420.
420.
We have pi.
Oh, right. Pi.
Man, there's like a bunch of numbers like that, and I can't think of any of them.
I mean, I go with 416. That's going to be my wedding anniversary.
416?
416.
That's something.
It's something.
What else do we have? We will rank anything, Tyler.
Yeah.
Anything in the whole universe. And you know what else is infinite? The universe.
Yeah.
So really.
Yeah. How about, how do you feel about 2? And let me.
Yeah, it's like even, right?
But like sequels, especially in the video game world.
Yeah.
Right after we got done saying how our podcast is anything but just video games.
Right.
Sequels are pretty good.
Yeah. Sometimes.
So like.
Well, sometimes.
But 2s are, I would say,
are
usually
2s more often good or bad?
In video games, I would be of the mindset that they are good. They are better than the originals. Modern Warfare 2 is better than the first one. Gears of War 2 is better than the first one. Portal 2 is better than the first one. See where I'm going with? Uncharted 2 is better than the first one.
Halo 2.
Better than the first one. Name me one that's not better.
Balloon Tower Defense 2.
Better than the first one?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. They have the 6. I assume it gets better. I don't know.
I believe in the evolution of balloon tower defense games. Number 4 was the weird one.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that, but just in case you were wondering.
I would actually love to go
through the evolution.
Touch them all and kind of see.
I don't know if you can because Balloon Tower Defense 1 is a Flash game. Didn't they get rid of Java?
Well, yeah, I mean, they got rid of Flash.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
So I don't know if we can.
All right.
Maybe it's archived somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know. All right.
No, 2.
No, we can do 2.
It could be an R sometimes.
Yeah. That brings me back to my Xbox name, which it didn't really work, but I attempted it. What about 3? There's a lot of trilogies.
There are, but not always as good as necessarily 2.
That's true. 3 seems to be disappointing.
3 is fine.
A lot of things come in threes, though, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Just
could be something. Could be a little something there.
Throwing numbers out.
We are throwing numbers out, of course.
You mentioned 13.
Yeah,
I would take a 13 over a 3.
Yeah, I would too.
I like the kind of on the edge thing. It's not quite like straight up devil's number, but it's like
it's getting
hinging
there
on it. Yeah.
What about? I guess we're not doing imaginary numbers. I would assume because I don't know what the fucking imaginary number is.
What about here? Let me.
Are there any fractions you like? Does that count?
Fractions. Well, sure, but again, it all ties back to design. It all ties back to 8.
Yeah.
There's no fraction I would like more than 8. Technically, fractions are bad.
Karma.
Well, if you're talking about a fraction, that means you're not talking about a pixel perfect
system,
which I don't particularly like. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about 3.3 repeating? Or no, what's the fucking Leroy Jenkins? Yeah, it's 33.3 repeating, of course. I think so.
Oh, okay.
How do you feel? I actually am thinking about it.
I don't mind that one.
From the Leroy Jenkins.
It's a super.
I gotta see if that's the quote though.
What about
before I get it wrong?
Let's see here. What about 8,008,123?
What's that?
Oh wait, hold on. It's not 23. Is it? No, hold on. It's 132, which spells out boobies.
Oh, 8008?
Or is it 5? Yeah, 8. Maybe let's just simplify.
80085.
135, right?
13. What are you talking
boobies. Oh, you just did boobs?
Oh, yeah, I was just a boobs guy.
Let's just do 8008. I like that.
Boob?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one, actually.
Yeah.
The calculator.
I
can't believe I didn't think of that.
It's a lot of meme numbers, man.
Oh, man. Okay, I got to see. All right, you go. I'm checking
I don't know what I'm doing. Just throwing numbers out. Okay,
I know.
Let's see.
Keep
what
throwing
else?
numbers out.
I liked
looking up the Leroy Jenkins quote. I got to make sure it's 33.3 repeating.
I liked 84. For
84.
Yeah, for reasons that I probably.
How about 64? Like a Nintendo 64.
64.
Like 8 and 8 went to the store to buy.
You mean 8 times 8? 64? Yeah, sure.
Hey, I'm about the 8, dude.
Okay, good. Well,
I'm about the 8.
I'm saying that's what
I'll
I'm
put 8
for.
All right, let's put 8 on the list. Let's put 8 on the fucking list. That's the first one on the list.
All right.
You happy?
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of am.
I sold out, dude. I sold out for the 8 because I trust you.
So the 2 we have on the list right now are 69 and 8.
What is our life right now?
I don't know, man.
I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of this.
So here's the thing. With 84, you would be surprised how many times that number specifically will pop up in your life. And I'm gonna put a challenge out to everybody. I'm not gonna give any rationale or reasoning behind why I like the number 84. I think people that know me will know it, but I will say that you will start noticing 84 pop up, or like 42. Oh, there you go, 42.
42.
Yeah, I mean that's on the list,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that on.
It is 32.33 repeating, of course.
Why is 32.33?
I don't know, but that was their odds of survival after you crunched the numbers.
And you have to put, of course, is that part of it?
I think yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's our rules. I don't
Sure.
care. Of course, it's not a number, but
Chelsea, help us out. What's your favorite number?
I told you earlier what it was.
Pi? Okay, we already have
dude,
pi.
isn't pi great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past the first 3 numbers.
Yeah, I know. We put them on the air.
I got it right. I said
credited
1.
You said 1.
Was the next number.
What's the next number? Because I told
5.
you that. 5? 1 5?
Yes.
1 4?
No, it's 1 5.
3.141
5.
5 9.
Thank
okay.
you.
See, I don't know
Fuck
anything.
off, Tyler. 32.33 repeating.
32.33. Yeah, I put it. Of course, I'll put of course on the list.
I feel like we have. Well, at least on our little list section, we have to put of course.
If
in
this makes
parentheses.
our top 5,
I will be fighting
sure.
for that one.
Okay, dude. If you're gonna fight for it, it goes on the list.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's
We
easy.
have like 4 on the list right
we
now.
have 4 on the list right now. So we have 8, 69, 32.33, of course, 42
And pi.
in pi over 8,008.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. 8008 needs to go on. Fuck pi, dude. I don't give a shit. Pi's gone, dude.
So we're gonna take pi off the list and put on boob.
8008 changed my life.
Yeah, well, were you part of the? So you could just do that and be like, "Hey guys, boob."
Yeah.
Or you have like a story and you're doing some ridiculous math problem.
Yeah.
And then eventually you flip the calculator upside down after you tell the story, and it's like, and he saw boobies.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't that smart. I just said
I don't even
boob and
remember.
I was
I don't know
impressed.
the story.
I showed my
or anything like
friends that. I typed out boob and I felt good about myself.
that. So you're gonna. What about 0? What about
No,
10?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Dude, meme will always trounce.
So
math.
this is just gonna be the top 5 meme numbers.
No, it's the top 5 numbers,
Okay.
but they're going to be meme numbers.
So 420 is not.
I wanted 420, but you don't feel very strongly about it.
well,
so.
I'm not a big pothead.
Me neither, but I respect 420.
How
Dude,
it
when we're talking about
permeated our
cultural
culture,
number,
you're right. I will give you that.
420 is like, everyone knows 420. When you
Sure.
think of the number 420, one thing comes to your mind.
Yeah.
And it's pot.
Sure. Yeah,
That's impressive.
it is, especially for someone like.
I would say,
yeah,
when you hear 420, you think of pot before you hear 8008 and you think of boob.
oh, easily, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
So now, of course, when you hear 69, that's nice.
Would you say 69 or 666? Because I would assume it's between 666 or 69 are the two most well-known numbers.
666?
Here's a
Oh,
number
I
for
see.
you. What about 911?
Ooh, I like. See, now we're
now
cooking
we're-
a little
now
bit. All
we're-
right,
we're getting
yeah,
the juices
we're getting the
going.
juices
Yeah,
going.
all right.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
What about
911?
900,
What about 32 for freezing?
32 for freezing?
Yeah.
But you know what's freezing in Celsius?
0.
Because it
Yeah.
makes fucking sense.
Sure. What about 365?
What about 100?
What about 100?
I feel like 100's pretty good. Like you try to get 100%, like 100's complete.
Here's my thing. I'm going to sneeze, so I apologize. I think 99.
Really?
If you look at our
99
culture,
seems like a very frustrating
it
number.
is. But if you look at our culture and you see, oh, this is $1, and you're like, oh, it's a whole dollar. But if you see 99 cents,
Oh.
it's that mentality where
I
it's like,
see.
oh, somebody
What
opened that
about,
up.
I'll counter you, what about 0.99?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I forgot we were doing decimals.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think 0.99.
0.99 is pretty
I'm
good.
gonna start putting some of this stuff.
All
on
right,
the
all
list
right. We
here.
got
Hold
some
on.
maybes rolling here. This has become a little more interesting as
This
time has
is
gone down.
Nuts. Okay, so
This
we
is-
did
this is
0.99. What else did I say? What was the
911,
911? Yeah, sure.
911, as some people would call it.
Yeah.
What about
9/11.
1 million? I feel like 1 million is a great number. Like that's a goal, right? Like a millionaire. 1 million.
Sure. I mean, we'll put on the list. Why not?
I feel like that's a good maybe.
Sure. What are some other
I'm thinking.
things?
I am thinking.
I do see. The more I think about 13, Baker's dozen.
It is a
I don't
baker's
know.
dozen. It's
Yeah.
true.
It's not. But
The
I'm not
lore
as
is there.
attached
The
to it.
lore
I'm
is
not as
there.
attached to it as everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm trying to think. we had a good stream of
We
thoughts
did.
there.
It's just
Now
like, oh,
we're
hey,
back to
numbers are a thing.
numbers are a thing.
Okay, so 0, 117. So 117, just take it out. right?
I kind of want to put 60 on there as a nod to cars.
I thought you were going to say seconds, the hour,
Could be as well.
minute.
So 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Minute,
but
hour.
But top 5.
It should be a maybe.
I'll put it on the list just to make you feel good.
I will appreciate
I'm not going
that.
to asterisk it or anything. What about 777? Were you taking that off?
Yeah, I'm not married to
Yeah.
that.
All right. What about 10? We already said kill 10?
Yeah, but I think 10 is underrated.
Sure.
You have top 10, you have 10 seconds.
10 is our 6th best number.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
Oh, well, then, okay. I'm just trying to throw you a bone. All these that we're taking off our list might be our 6th best number. We don't
exactly.
know. How did you feel about 0 again? Were you taking that off?
Yeah,
or
I don't
just,
care.
Okay. Just not enough history there. And then 60, did you want that on or too soon? Okay, hold on. We'll keep going. 5, we'll take off.
Yeah,
Top
no,
5,
5.
special shout out, but they're getting on the top 5 list. I feel like 5 sneaks on because we changed it up. And I don't know if you noticed this, and this is my stupid brain, is I used to call it top 5 hyphenated spelled out. Then I did not hyphenated, and now it's capital TOP space the number 5. And that is our official way of calling out the top 5 list. Your eyes are glassed over again. Okay. I'm just saying there's a lot of thought that goes into this.
No, do you want top 5 on the list?
No.
Or not top 5?
No,
Do you want the number 5 on the list?
I do not care.
What about the number 1? We didn't even talk about that.
The number 1 is the A of
It's the A, exactly. I'm
numbers.
totally with you.
Yeah, no. That's,
Fuck number 1.
Sure.
So pretentious.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we have a good list.
I think we have a good
know.
list.
All right,
I think
so
we have a
here
good
we go.
list.
All right, so 68, 69, 420, 3.14, or pi. The number 2, we could take 2 off.
Yeah, we can take 2
I like
off.
2. I think in video games, 2 is a fantastic number, but
Yeah.
whatever. How do you feel about 13? We taking that on, off?
How do you feel about 13?
I don't like it as much as 5 of these other ones.
Okay.
All right, so we'll take 13 off.
What's the number of that Disney studio? There was like a specific classroom. Maybe there was a letter in there too. But they reference it all throughout their movies. Like it's little Easter eggs.
Oh, I don't know. At that
You know what I'm
point,
talking
you
about?
may as well be like, what's the...
There might be a letter in it, so I don't think it's just a number. But there's like this one classroom that all these animators, like it's very well known from some school, I guess. And they sneak this number into a lot of the Disney movies.
It's
as like a
partially
little Easter
why,
egg.
like, it's such a weird thing because if you just say 911, maybe this is a stipulation. We should have talked about this on the rules. Like, how many phone numbers and like jingles would we be? Like 8675309 type of thing.
Wow.
But it's not like a number.
It is absolutely a number.
It is.
Because
It
you say
is.
8675309.
But we don't say it as because
8,000, yeah.
I argue it's not a number in that regard. It's 7 numbers because each of those numbers you dial them individually.
So you're saying 911's the same way.
Well, that's the thing is 911 has transcended that. That's the interesting part about it. So like you say 911 or 911 or like 911, like it's up to you. I'm saying that's an
Right.
easy way to pull it off the list. I think it transcends like a phone number, but
I count it as a number, dude, because it's a stream of numbers.
yes. But if you told somebody, so what is it? 8675309?
By your logic, boob shouldn't be on the list because nobody calls it. Oh, dude, did you see my 8008?
You have to, but you have to. Like that's part of it. I don't know. I don't want to.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's like,
All right. Well, do you want to put that on?
did you see my 80,005? Yeah, you like that pair of 80,005? So it's like nobody fucking says that.
Right. Fair enough.
I think it counts.
So you want to put 8675309
No,
on there?
but
Okay.
it should be mentioned.
All
I
right.
think
Well,
that's
I'm
another
just
great
letting
one.
you know that's why I didn't put phone numbers on there.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
I think it's a good one.
Okay. All right. Let me pull this list back up. All right. So
Let's talk about our locks. Let's talk about our locks. 69 is on the
69 is a
list.
lock.
8 is a lock.
I would fight pretty hard for 8.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know
lock.
you don't like if you hate
It's a lock.
Okay.
I just said it was
All right,
a lock
all right.
twice.
It could be 5, but
Do you want me to say no? It's not a lock. Is that what you want, Tyler?
I thought I was gonna have to fight harder for this. All right. Okay. So 869.
I cannot with this fucking list.
How do you feel about 8008?
It has to be on there.
Okay.
Now, is it 8,008? Is it 80,005? Or is it 800? Wait, 800,135? 800,135. Yeah.
It's not. It's
800,135.
No.
80,000? No, it's 800.
8 million.
8 million?
Yeah.
8 million.
8 million, 8,135.
Oh, there has to be another 8.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I did miss another 8. So 8 million.
How I always did it
Wait, say that
was
again.
that
8 million.
8,135.
Yes.
That's what I always typed in.
I
didn't. I
I
knew
always
people
did
that it.
8,008 because I'm a simple brain. Boob.
I'm fine with either. I think it's a cleaner 8008 is cleaner.
Yeah, let's do 8008.
I kind of like that. Where I wonder if you can put that as a clan tag on
That's,
on the Xbox
awesome.
or something.
That's the classic, man.
Okay, so 8008 is
Yeah.
a lock. So we have
Yeah.
869, 8008. We
Yeah.
are just ridiculous. We have 32.33, of course, repeating, of course.
Yes. That's
a lock?
I'm fighting for it.
Oh my goodness,
We
that's
can
four-
argue
that's a
it's
four
it doesn't-
lock.
It doesn't have to be a lock.
Okay,
but I'm fighting-
42. How is
What else do
42?
we have?
42, 99 cents.
99
well, 99.
0.99.
499, 911, and 1
911's
million.
good.
I think 1 million can get.
Yeah, 1 million can be done. I think it's between 911 and 42.
Look, I'm fine taking 911 away because if I take my other argument about telephone, I feel good taking 911 off.
Okay, 42's on. We
right.
have 5.
Special
But
shout
not
out to
we don't
99
have
cents.
5.
So we're taking 420. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
we're taking the 420 off.
Yeah.
We're taking pi off, and we're taking 60 off.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did not like my 60 reference.
No,
but I
I'm
think
fine
60 is
with-
a great number.
60's fine. It's no 64, but it's fine.
Dude, 60 has way more applications than 64.
I disagree.
Time? Are you serious?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's not fucking important,
That-
I guess.
Yeah, what happens if you start doing metric time?
What?
I don't know. That's not a thing. All right.
It's the one thing we can all agree on.
That's true. And I'm going to destroy it. Okay.
All right.
So we have 869, 8008, which
What is wrong with us?
is yeah, no. Okay, I'm
Are we-
I'm still
are we
gonna fight for
adults?
8. Yeah. 32.33 repeating, of course,
Yeah.
and 42.
All right. I would like 8 to
I
be
am
5.
fine. eight is fifth place.
Excellent.
That's great.
that was easy.
Fine. I'm just happy it's
All
there.
right. I am not big on 42.
That is a shame.
Okay. What do you think should be 4? And we can negotiate.
No, I'm fine with
you
being
sure?
juvenile putting 42. Yeah. So I like 42. For
42,
all,
just to
obviously-
be clear, 42 is the answer to the universe.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's from.
That's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Is that a book?
Yes.
What's a book?
It's you can also have it in an audiobook. It's on a movie.
Oh, it's a movie.
It's with Zoe
Why didn't you just
Deschanel.
say it was a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
I like her.
Martin Freeman is in it, I believe.
I like him.
Yeah. It's very good.
Is it actually good?
It's yes. Yeah.
Like the book's probably pretty famous, right?
If you're gonna between reading the book, listening to the audiobook, or watching the movie, I would say go with the audiobook. Stephen Fry narrates it, and he's very good.
Okay. Done.
Out of those three.
Done
I think,
and
yeah.
doner.
Okay, so 42, I am good with it being number 4.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
Special shout out to 84, which is double 42. All right, so out of that, we have 33. So explain to me what 32.33 repeating, of course, is. That's just
There-
the odds of...
Yeah, so he's saying, I can read it to you. I have it up. So
Okay.
I'm going to pull it up and we're going to have a
Because
nice
if it was
reading of Leroy
me,
Jenkins.
that would be 5th, and it's already somehow gotten to 3rd place.
All right.
But you seem happy with it.
Okay, guys, these eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past. Does anyone need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him? I think Leroy needs something from this guy. Oh, he needs those devout shoulders. Isn't he a paladin? Yeah, but that will help him heal better. I have more mana. Christ. Okay. Well, what we'll do, I'll run first, gather up all the eggs. We'll kind of just, blast them all down with AoE. I'll use intimidating shout to kind of scatter them. We don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too. Can keep them scattered. Not to fight too many of them. When it's done, best of course, we'll need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need divine intervention for our mages so they can AE. We can use, he says a lot. We can, of course, get them down fast because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. Should we be able to pull it off this time? What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick? This is where Abdul comes in. He says, yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival. That is the introduction to Leroy Jenkins.
It's League of Legends?
Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's Warcraft,
Everything's
right?
It's
Okay.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's no Warcraft 3.
It's funny. So after all of that,
That was
then
a
he
lot
says
longer
Leroy
than-
Jenkins and runs in. Is that
Yeah,
the...
so after that, he says, that's a lot better than we usually do. All right. You think we're ready, guys? And he's interrupted. And Leroy comes in and he says, all right, chums. Let's do this.
I'll give it to you, man. You seem very passionate about it. That's fine. If you don't
Wait, you wanted that 4 and then 42,
let me ask you
3?
something. If you don't like 42, if you're not big on a 42,
I will say
sneak 8 up to 4.
I will say I'm bigger on 42 because 42 is Mariano Rivera's number, and he's the best
Christ.
closer of
Okay,
all
whatever,
time.
Sure, that's fine.
So I will put it 3 if that helps you sleep better at night.
And put the 32.33 at 4.
Yep.
I'm done. Let's do that.
You sat through me reading through Leroy
Yeah.
Jenkins' transcripts, so I feel like that's the least I can do for you.
That's fine. We'll keep 8 at the lowly 5 spot. So number 2, 8008.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all knew it.
Oh my god. I can't believe it. This is not a episode that you would.
If 69 did not get number 1, I would literally quit.
That's fair. All right.
It is the greatest number ever invented.
Well, for
Nothing else in this world makes me say nice faster than someone saying 69.
that's true.
It's like a reflex
It's
at this
funny.
point.
It's such a weird,
It's just fucking hilarious.
and it's something. It's gotten beyond something where I feel like you can say that in the workplace now, and people and everybody, and it's just like nice, and that's it.
That's it.
It's so weird.
See, we're taking strides in a world where we're accepting of this.
Yeah, and I still wouldn't do it because I'm terrified.
I was going to say, I've never heard that in the workplace.
It's ridiculous. Like it's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, and
It's one of those things where it's like you can't prove it.
sure.
You know what I mean?
It's
Where
like,
it's like,
nice.
It's like,
the number.
it's like you hear if you hear a particular drum set playing a particular beat, it could be anything.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But we'll still all look around waiting for someone to say something. I feel like it's kind of a similar situation.
Sure. All right, let me roll this up and we'll get out of here.
Roll it up for me.
It's number 5. We have number 8.
Which I'm surprised
Shout
about.
out to all graphic designers out there. Every
Hey,
UI
you did
designer
it.
should know the number 8. All right.
You did it.
Number 4 is 32.33 repeating, of course. Number 3 is the number 42, the answer to life, universe, everything.
Somehow didn't win. So it's not the answer to this list.
Look, sometimes memes transcend all.
Memes are, yeah.
For the number 2 spot, we have 8008.
I think
For
we're
all you
children.
grade schoolers out there.
Yeah.
I wonder if my nephew has to know that.
Everyone knows that,
Yeah.
unless they don't use calculators anymore.
He's that age. And then the number 1 spot, the best number as far as the couch company is concerned,
Out of infinite numbers,
out of all the numbers in
we
the
decided
universe,
this was the best in the universe.
Yeah. 69.
Nice.
Nice.
I think you have your tagline this week.
I think you're right. That's it. Nice. All right.
Well, there we go.
It's funny because the tagline should be whenever we get to our 69th episode, we just call it nice. So we might have to.
No,
think
I
about
mean,
some
I'm
stuff.
talking about on the list itself. Under
gotcha,
the
little
portrait.
caption.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Now, I don't need to remind you, but our portrait this week must be PG. So
It's going to be tough. I think I have one.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to beat your top 5 game show one. That is the best picture
It
I've
is.
ever seen in my life,
Yeah.
given the context of everything.
Yep.
Although, actually, I did want to ask you this real quick, and I know we don't have that much time. We have 3 minutes.
Sure.
So for our top fives of 2021, you have a picture of Skyrim with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
Would you care to elaborate on that graphic?
I didn't want to put another Alduin picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was like something like, it's kind of like this like jokey, bizarre thing. So like the mod is Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
well-known mod.
Sure.
Within
I was just trying
Skyrim.
to kind of branch
I like
out
it.
a little
Okay.
bit.
I didn't know if there was another hidden meaning behind that.
Not really. I think just thought it was funny.
Very good.
It was between that or the dude like, oh, you're finally awake. Just put him out.
That'd
That's
be
it.
funny. That is such a meme. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You remember when that was like everywhere?
Yeah.
Like you'd be watching some random video to go dark and then you wake up Skyrim. Memes are weird.
Yes. I mean, I told you about the meme in Portal where they're like, "Oh, Hoopy the Hoop." That's gonna be a meme.
Yeah. Tell the audience about that. They might not know
the
real
end,
quick.
when you get out of Portal and like Gladys is falling from the sky and everything's breaking apart, there's a metal ring that falls, and the developers thought that was going to be a meme. Hoopy the Hoop. And that's all over apparently Portal 2. And
Right.
I learned this yesterday. I had no idea about this.
And the cake is a lie.
The cake is a lie.
Is the meme.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you cannot predict memedom.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Did you think there was actually going to be cake at the end? Were you surprised at the end, like the end credit or the end scene is literally like, hey, there was cake the whole time?
I think I knew that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised, no.
Nice.
But that is interesting. Well, they weren't obviously going to give it to you because you're going to be dead.
Yeah. It was just a funny.
there was
yeah,
cake
there was
somewhere.
actually cake. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you play a Portal remake? I mean, you would obviously play it, but is that something we need?
They did. So they came out with, I think, something called Mel Stories, which is like the closest thing we got to like a Portal 3. So it was, I think, a Steam workshop thing that was sanctioned by Valve, but they made it past Portal 2.
Okay.
Remake wise, like,
Because the thing I didn't like about Portal 2 is it's so empty. We have obviously this, maybe it'll explain it in Portal 2.
Well, Portal 1 was intentionally empty. So they actually had more clutter around and people were getting too hung up on it.
I just meant like people. You don't see any people. Like it seems so.
Yeah,
empty.
I mean
And
that's all
maybe
part
that's
of the.
it's on purpose. I'm sure. So okay, I have to play Portal 2. That's what we learned.
Portal 2 is a lot more interesting environments and different things like that. So
yeah, no, I enjoyed Portal 1 very much. All right, that's all we got for you this week. Thanks for joining us as always. Check us out on couchcompany.games. All of our links are there.
Yeah.
You can check out our Twitter polls. You can check out our YouTube. Watch me play Portal and struggle through that. I don't think I did too bad, actually.
No, you crushed it in 2 hours.
That's true.
That's
but
average.
I did have your help. So if you want to see a noob play Portal and get his genuine reaction 15 years later, that probably doesn't happen too often these days.
You want to see the companion cube get melted alive?
I made an interesting decision on that. So check out what my decision was instead of throwing the companion in there. And check us out on there. Leave us a message on anchor.fm so we can hear from you, or Facebook Messenger, and I'll remind Tyler.
I think I get notifications now, so that
do you?
should be good.
Okay, perfect. And that's all we got for you. Thanks for joining us on the couch as always. We're going to see you here, same time, same place next week. See ya. Peace.